cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife, leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. Black and white. Black and white. It's black and white. Black and white, just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. Just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh. 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 It's black and white. Black and white.
Apologies for that. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends. Here we are at Oulton Park for the start of the second half of this season. My name is Alex Everett. Welcome along to Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and Twitch, and welcome along to Next Gen Racing on Facebook. Thank you from wherever you are watching around the world. We are in England, back in England today, for Oulton Park Round 7 here in Cheshire in West England, 200 miles northwest of London, 30 miles southeast of Liverpool. The sweeping contours and picturesque location here makes this one of the best tracks in the UK. Home of Katie Eames in the comments, straight in the comments, letting us know that this is her track closest to home. This track has 16 turns, 9 to the right and 7 to the left. This is the layout that we commonly see in the British GT Championship. We don't often see this layout. In fact, I can't remember the last time we saw this layout in the British Touring Car Championship, which here on this channel and a lot of the drivers within this championship are big fans of the TOCA series and touring cars. But yeah, they've been using the island circuit for a long time. This layout, though, with the instead of going into the right-hand hairpin of the island, it runs down into the international loop, and there is an extra chicane. But a very, very nice track indeed. Legendary in its own right. Never featured in Formula 1, unfortunately. It's quite a narrow track, but very entertaining in most racing series that we've seen it in. So welcome along to the iRacing Next Gen Legends, a series in its second edition. We had one edition last season, the 21st season of Next Gen Racing. This 22nd season, this is the second edition of the Legends. There are rumours kicking about of a new series being formed after the conclusion of this series for the next Monday night Next Gen Racing on iRacing. All to be revealed at another time, though. We'll keep that from you for now. But, yep, tonight's race is the 7th round of the season, as we mentioned. We started off all them weeks ago back at Silverstone, just southeast of us, about 2 hours southeast in Silverstone National Circuit, where the British touring cars are actually going this weekend. Round 2 was at the then new Red Bull Ring Circuit, Spielberg in Austria, very new to iRacing at the time. Round 3 featured at the Snetterton 300 layout, one of the longest laps on the calendar. That hosted a very entertaining Round 3. Round 4 was at the Zandvoort circuit. There was a week off in between rounds 4 and 5, but we returned to Round 5 in Japan for the Tsukuba circuit. Round 6 last week, the Gilles Villeneuve circuit, aka Montreal, hosted a very interesting round indeed, where we saw new winners, and we saw one driver in particular dominate that race, and this person we're watching right here, Deegan Fairclough. Absolutely tremendous driving last week to take, I believe it was 2 wins last week. Just check. Yep, 2 wins last week. Race 1 and race 3. As race 2 was won by, it was Blaze Crawford, I believe. Lots of drivers to remember. Wayne Douglas. It was Wayne Douglas, to excuse me. Wayne Douglas won last week in race 2. For this week, we're here at round 7 for the Oulton Park International Circuit. Next week, we'll be off to Germany for the Nürburgring Sprint Strecke layout, which is a shorter layout of the GP circuit we know so well with, well, many series. DTM, TCR Europe, WTCR, Formula 1, of course, which hosted the Luxembourg Grand Prix, the European Grand Prix, and the German Grand Prix, and the Eiffel Grand Prix. Many times. A break in between rounds 8 and rounds 9, but when we're back for round 9, it will be one of my favourite circuits in the UK, Donington Park National Circuit. Round 10 will feature at the WeatherTech Raceway, but we all know it as Laguna Seca, that circuit that features the ever-famous Corkscrew Corner. Round 11 will feature at Barcelona, the Circuit de Catalunya. Fairly new to iRacing. The newest tracks to iRacing are the Hungaroring, Red Bull Ring and Barcelona, so that should be a very interesting round indeed. A shortened national layout version we'll be running. And the final round will end at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, the shorter of the 2 variants of the circuit. Brands Hatch Indy being a very, very popular finale in the British Touring Car Championship. An Indy circuit, a small circuit for these very small cars. Very interesting end to this championship indeed. Should be very entertaining on the 1st of November. Do tune in that day and every Monday from here on, with the exception of that week break in 2 weeks from today. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of qualifying and a little more housekeeping, let's go through the championship standings coming into tonight's race. We'll start with the first of two categories, the Pro category. So these are drivers with either high I rating, so I rating is the ranking system they use on iRacing, and and drivers who compete in real life racing. There's a few drivers here that aren't correct, so let me just correct that. That's a little bit strange how this happened. Yeah, a couple of drivers in that category. They're definitely not Pro-Am drivers, but we'll try and skim through it. Yeah, something's not quite right there, but we'll go through it anyway. Gordon Much leads the championship regardless, though, on 296 points, but only 3 points behind is Mikey Doble. And 30 points down from Gordon Much is Luke Bennett. Now, should mention that Gordon Much and Luke Bennett did not take part in the last round at Montreal. So that will serve as a drop round. A drop round is where your worst score of the year, of the season should I say, is zeroed. But if you miss a round, it means that will serve as your drop round. So that will be the drop round for Gordon Much and Luke Bennett. Down in 4th place there is Liam McNally on 163 points. Bobby Thompson in 5th with Stephen Daly in 6th. Keith Dempsey in 7th with Donovan Strauss 8th. Seb Hopkins 9th. And it does say Robert Lundgren in 10th. He isn't. He's in the Pro-Am category, so it will be 11th for William Chadwick. As for the Pro-Am category, now this is the category of drivers who don't race in real life and don't have as high an I rating. They're drivers who are probably a little less experienced on iRacing, or drivers who just don't simply compete as much as the drivers in the Pro category. So it gives them their own little challenge, a little championship to take part in, and it is fiercely competitive at the moment, as you can see with these points. Just 7 points separate the top 3, who are Lee Horn, Wayne Douglas and William Foyle. Jamie Dory, who missed last week, he'll have a drop round, so he might close up that gap. He's in 4th place, and Paul Heo in 5th place there. 6th place is Blaise Crawford with Deegan Fairclough, who had a stunning round at Montreal last week, in 7th. Ollie Peters in 8th, Guido Casania in 9th, and Max Brady 10th. So that's the championship standings over and done with. The only real change, there's a few new drivers about tonight. One of them is Vicente Salas. Welcome along to Vicente. He's not a new driver to the season. He did take part at Zandvoort, but he is back here at Oulton Park today. Returning drivers to the series include Matt Emmons, who is the admin of the Wednesday night GT3 League for Next Gen Racing. So while we're on the subject, there are plenty of leagues on offer hosted by Next Gen Racing. One of them is these Monday Night Legends. Also on iRacing is the Wednesday night GT3s, hosted by this man himself. There is also on Tuesday nights Assetto Corsa Competizione Leagues. And on Thursday nights, in alliance with Crest Autosport, is the Race Room Leagues. At the moment, it's the World Touring Car Challenge. For all the aforementioned leagues, you can watch them live here on Next Gen Racing. They all are live around about this time on each of the days that we mentioned. And there's plenty of other leagues that Next Gen host, including on consoles such as PS4 and of course PC, which is where iRacing is hosted. And there's lots of games on offer by Next Gen Racing. Do check out Next Gen Racing on Facebook, as well as searching for the Facebook group, which is where they do most of their communications. Type Next Gen Racing as is spelt in the top left there, and you will find the group to get involved in the racing, or just simply join if you are a fan of Next Gen Racing. Now, let's get on with qualifying. As we see Mikey Doble leading at the pits, followed by Matt Emmons in the Next Gen livery there. Number 72 car, look out for him tonight. Hasn't done many rounds this season, has Matt Emmons, so it'll be very interesting to see how he gets on tonight. But Mikey Doble, our defending champion, always one to look out for on these nights. Still looking for a race win this season, which is really, really odd of Mikey Doble. I know I say that every single race, but it must be bugging him. It must be really bugging him inside. But at the same time, he's 3 points behind the leader in the championship right now. And that leader in the championship isn't in the server right now. So Mikey Doble will be picking up ever more points. He won't be complaining about that. That's for certain. Who else have we got on track? A slight change of teams for one driver. Paul Hayo joins the Crest Autosport team. He'll be in that very, very striking pink, blue and yellow livery that matches that of William Foyle, and very similarly with Ollie Peters. So the trio making themselves a team in this series. We've got Blaze Crawford here, who took a win, nearly took the win last time out of Montreal in race 2, but Blaze Crawford took a win at Tsukuba the week before, and all of these drivers going very, very slow over the hill here. They all want a better position on track. They all want to have a little bit of slipstreaming, which will help them improve their lap times, because it will improve their speed down the corners. Of course, that reduces drag in the air, means there's a big hole in the air, which means their cars can go faster. That is what they're all looking for. So without further ado, we will go on board with Mikey Doble himself, our defending champion, to give us a lap of this brilliant, brilliant circuit. Into the Old Hall corner now. Fast right-hander. And we come down towards turn 2, Denton's. And then downhill braking into the Cascades. Hugging it tight on the inside. Feathering the throttle on as we come around the corner. Up towards what was last season the Island Hairpin, but we're going to carry on straight on into the Island Bend. Long left-hander here, just feathering the throttle in 5th gear here, and then braking down into the International Loop, aka the Shell Oils corner. Banked hairpin here, where you can power around the corner. It's a very fun corner to drive around indeed. Around the slight kink to the right here, and we'll come into Britain's chicane here. The tyres are our signal for this chicane here. Getting nice and close to those tyres. Right, left, left, right, and right, left. And then up the hill, over the hilltop. We'll come down towards Hislops. The second chicane of this circuit. Down through the gears. Oh, very quick into that corner there. Feathering the throttle on in 3rd gear, and now into Knickerbrook. And it will be up the hill. Clay Hill and past the water tower. Through the gears we'll go. Under the bridge. Top of the hill. Now past the water tower. Kink to the left as we break down into Druid's corner. Long right-hander here that just seems to go on forever. One of the trickiest corners on the circuit. A double apex right-hander. Down what is a very important corner now. Lodge corner. Always a good overtaking opportunity here, so keep an eye on this corner throughout the night. Round we go. 3rd gear yet again. Over Deer Leap. That is a lap of Oulton Park International Circuit. As I said, one of the most iconic circuits in the United Kingdom. And Mikey Doble crosses the line. Slower than Paul Hayo, but on a 153.3. So we'll see how they get on for the rest of the session. Let's see what else is going on elsewhere. Max Brady crosses the line to go 3rd overall with a 154.0. The American driver in High Performance Motorsports. And there's quite a few American drivers in the series, and that's because the Legends cars are very popular in America. In fact, on iRacing, it is one of the first cars you will ever drive. It is the first, a free car to drive for the over racing as a rookie. So when you come onto iRacing, you've got to work your way through the license system. You start off as a rookie, and if you are interested in over racing, you'll drive these cars. Very, very small ovals granted, like Thompson Speedway and South Boston. But they're very fun cars to drive indeed, and that's why we have a series for them on these legendary circuits. They're not just for ovals, there is actually a UK Legends series. Very popular series with, I think it's something like 25 drivers compete in the UK Legends series. And it's very, very, very exciting indeed. Deegan Fairclough, the star of last week at Montreal. The Adam Morgan starred livery there. Even sporting the number 3, which actually is more like Tom Chilton do beg your pardon. But Deegan was phenomenal last week at Montreal. A win in race 1 and a win in race 3. Battled ferociously with Mikey Doble on the final lap of race 3 to take 2 wins. And he'll be wanting to get more good results to get himself higher up in the Pro-Am category. Who else have we got on track? It's a return to the series for Rob Birable. We haven't seen him since the meeting before Zandvoort, which was Snetterton. So welcome back to him. See how he gets on in this qualifying session. Mikey Doble on fresh tyres, coming back out of the pits. But it's Paul Hale at the top of the standings. His new livery giving him a bit of beans, it seems. And he is on his way to complete another lap, the number 5 driver. To the final corner, Lodge corner. And he'll go over dearly. Now this is an out lap, so we won't see a lap time at the end of this. But provisional pole position at the moment for Paul Hale. Mikey Doble also on his out lap. There's a few drivers with no lap time set yet. 5 drivers on the board, even though we've got, I think it's 13 out there at the moment. So I think we've just seen Blaze Crawford put himself into 4th place there with a 153.6, and we've just seen Vicente Salas put himself into provisional pole position with a 152.5, a very quick lap time in comparison to the rest of the field, more than half a second clear. But I think what we are seeing with Oulton Park right now is people struggling with track limits. That might be something we need to keep an eye on, as impeding track limits, not only in qualifying but in the race, can cause slowdown penalties, and that is a virtual penalty you are given by the sim whenever you have cut the track a little bit too much or run wide off the track a little bit too much, and it gives you a virtual penalty, so you don't get any advantage from it. In fact, it's a huge disadvantage getting a slowdown penalty on iRacing. It's one of the most painful things in the world when you're new to iRacing. Something you learn very early on in the MX5 rookie series. So we see Vicente Salas, he got a bit out of shape during the chicane there and has decided to abort his lap and get fresh tyres on, as we have gone over halfway. In fact, we're not over halfway in the session. We are near the end of the session, so Vicente will call it a day there. Seems to think he's done enough. He's a long way ahead of most of these drivers, and there are 5 drivers still haven't set a time. William Foyle, Sean Brown, Josh Brown, Matt Emmons and Lee Horn. 2 of them, William Foyle and Lee Horn, are still on the track. The other 3, Sean and Josh Brown and Matt Emmons, are not on the track, so they definitely won't have time to set a time. So they'll be at the back of the grid for this first race of the night. As quicker goes Paul Hale. Deegan Fairclough has also gone ahead of Mikey Doble, but Paul Hale has put himself within half a second and will get one more shot at trying to get himself to the top spot. Ollie Peters and William Foyle have both put themselves higher up the leaderboard. In fact, William Foyle getting a time up there to put him 6th at the moment. He'll line up at the moment alongside his teammate Ollie Peters, who had just gone quicker, to put himself 5th. They're only a few tenths down from Mikey Doble. So it's all down to the others. Deegan Fairclough has crossed the line. He'll get another lap here, as the checkered flag isn't out yet, but a 153.3 is not enough to contend with Vicente Salas at the moment. Man of the hour last week, and this is Mikey Doble. The checkered flag is out, so all drivers that come to the line now will finish their laps. In front of Mikey Doble is Rob Bearable, who's in 9th at the moment, and up in the distance I think that's Blaze Crawford. Might be Max Brady, actually. It is Max Brady. So Brady will be one to cross the line shortly. Deegan Fairclough has reverted to the pits, as has Blaze Crawford. No more laps from them. Brady, well, kind of crosses the line. Stays in 8th. Across the line there goes Rob Bearable. Doesn't go quicker. Mikey Doble puts himself into 3rd place. Not quite where he wanted to be, but it's still higher up from where he was. 3rd place in the place ahead, but alongside Deegan Fairclough. And others on the track, Paul Hale, let's see what he can do. Back there is Ollie Peters or William Foyle, one of them. Lee Horn is still out on the track. He hasn't set a time yet, so at the moment he's going to be well and truly at the back of the grid, unless things can change. He seems to be pretty happy at the moment. I mean, he would have reverted to the pits if it was no good at this point, but Paul Hale doesn't go quicker. He's a couple of tenths down from his personal best, so he stays second. Ollie Peters will cross the line. William Ford didn't go quicker. He stays fifth, does Ollie Peters. Lee Horn crosses the line, goes sixth fastest, knocks William Foyle off the third row. Into the third row goes the next gen driver Lee Horn, who is, by the way, battling William Foyle in the Pro-Am Championship. So that's a very important lap from Lee Horn. Well done indeed. But that will be qualifying concluding for us. And we're going to go straight into the race once everyone has reverted to the pits. There's a couple of drivers still cruising out there, including Paul Heo and Ollie Peters. Once they've reverted to the pits, we'll be able to get on with the racing. We have a 15-minute race coming up. They're all 15-minute races tonight, and there are 3 of them. We will have intermissions in between each race, but very short ones, hopefully. But all 15-minute races tonight. The grid for race 1 will obviously be formed by qualifying results here. Race 2 will be a reverse grid of 12 and a full reverse grid for the final race of the night. Person on pole position is Vicente Salas. Welcome back to the series. Missed a few races last time out on track with the Next Gen Legends at Zandvoort. So he'll definitely be pleased with this early performance of the night. So here we go. The drivers will form on the grid. And here is the grid. Vicente Salas on pole position with Paul Heo in second position. Mikey Doble in third with Deegan Fairclough in fourth position. Ollie Peters lines up fifth with Lee Horn in sixth. William Foyle lines up seventh with Blaze Crawford in eighth. Max Brady in ninth with Rob Bearable in 10th. Matt Emmons 11th and Josh Brown in 12th. And in 13th place will line up Sean Brown. Welcome along to the iRacing Next Gen Legends. My name is Alex Everett on behalf of Crest Autosport. Welcome along whether you're watching on Next Gen Racing Facebook or Crest Autosport on YouTube or Twitch. Do give us all a like, subscribe and or follow from wherever you are watching. Welcome along to the start of the second half of the season. We have seen some very, very exciting racing thus far in the season, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Deegan Fairclough there is lined up on the grid, as is Ollie Peters, William Foyle. Mikey Doble has just lined himself up. The top two taking their time at the moment. They are just making sure they've got the right setup on the car. They've got everything ready, like their wheel is calibrated, their pedals are calibrated, all the graphics and the spotters are set up correctly. All these things, routine checks for the drivers before things get underway for their races. We're just waiting for one more to line up on the grid. And now we are ready to go. The lights are going to show for the start of round 7 here at Oulton Park for the Next Gen Legends. Lights are out and away we go. It's a very good start for Deegan Fairclough, who's already ahead of Mikey Doble and looking to the inside of Paul Heo. Vicente gets in front, stays in front as we go through the Old Hall corner. Paul Heo in second place with Deegan Fairclough taking third away, and Ollie Peters is off there on the grass, but he's able to keep it on the, well, he's able to get it back on the track and keep it going. And Deegan Fairclough has moved his way into second place past Paul Heo through the Cascades there. A brilliant start for last week's driver of the day, and Paul Heo is almost, Mikey Doble is almost pushing him along as we go through the Island Bend and into the Shell Oils corner. It's a good start for Vicente, not much trouble for him so far, and the three behind him tripping over each other at the moment. Into Britons we go. Deegan taking all the curb and more, and he will be pleased with his start here. Paul Hare will be a little bit disappointed. A good qualifying session. He's dropped a few positions here, so he'll be a little bit unhappy about that, as will Ollie Peters. He's dropped 5 places from the start due to that off coming out of the old corner, the Old Hall corner. Vicente leads the way through Knickerbrook, and will begin the ascent up the hill for the final sector of the lap. Oh, and there's been an incident further back. Josh Brown has had an incident at the back of the field here. Oh, broke a little bit too sharply there. Ah, and out of control and into the... Oh, just about missed the tyre wall there. He's able to keep it going. Maybe be able to make up some positions as the race goes by. But we're approaching the end of the first lap here. Oh, something's happened back there. Max Brady has taken a spin. And we'll get a quick replay of that. Oh, was there contact with Rob Bearable in the 21 car? No, there wasn't. He just got it out of shape, switched it the other way, and just about avoided Matt Emmons. Brilliant avoiding from Matt Emmons there. But they're all able to keep going so far. At the end of lap 1, Vicente leads, and Mikey Doble is making a move on Deegan Fairclough. It might have been a very good pass coming out of the hold hole there, but the inside is covered by Deegan Fairclough. Mikey Doble will have to try again on another corner. Let's just get a quick replay of what Mikey Doble did there coming out of the old hall. And in fact, it was a good exit from the final corner, Lodge corner, to get himself alongside. And he hangs it round the outside, tries the undercut. And then it continues on to what we saw. Still very close between these three. And Lee Horn is closing in here. Lee Horn in 5th place here. Can see a fellow Pro-Am driver ahead of him, who he will want points on to stay well in control of his championship lead in the Pro-Am category. He has got one of his championship rivals behind in William Foyle. They have also got Blaze Crawford in their category as well to look out for. But it's a good start to the race for Vicente, stretching his lead a little bit ahead of the Brits behind of Fairclough, Doble and Heo. The train's getting a little bit longer, but it seems Fairclough is stretching away a little bit from Mikey Doble and getting a little bit out of shape. There was William Foyle coming out of Druid's corner then. He's able to keep it in shape, keep it up with Lee Horn. He's the man he wants to beat. He's the man he's battling in the championship. At the end of lap 2, it is Salas from Fairclough. Doble in 3rd place, Heo in 4th, Horn in 5th, and Foyle in 6th. And these cars are sometimes a bit like a game of chess. When you're all in your positions relative to your pacing qualifying, usually there's not much more you can do. It's about skill and wit to get past the other drivers. Mikey Doble a little bit closer to Fairclough now. He seems to be very, very well suited to the first part of this lap, does Mikey Doble. He's able to close in on Fairclough here, as he did on the previous lap. He made a move. And Fairclough, it didn't quite complete. He gave it a go. Into Britons again. Really an overtaking opportunity here, and in these Legends cars you need to be super close and have a good run on the other car to make successful moves. And you can see Fairclough is stretching away on this particular part of the lap, which seems to be Mikey Doble's Achilles heel here, or just seems to be where Fairclough is well suited. Getting a little bit out of shape there coming out of Heaslop's then. A bit further back, there is a big battle going on between Rob Bearable and Josh Brown. I think there was a collision. So we're looking at Robert Bearable on the left, Josh Brown on the right, going through Island Bend, side by side, and into the hairpin they go. Oh, and it's a spin, in fact, for Josh Brown. Well, a half spin as he hits the gravel on the outside, and once you do that on iRacing, that's it. You have lost the car pretty much. But there's still reverse grid to consider. Josh Brown will find himself at the front of the grid if he still finishes 12th. In fact, if he finishes this race, he's guaranteed to get onto the front row, because Sean Brown is unfortunately out of this race. Josh Brown, a little bit of bodywork damage on that car. He might have had an instant without us seeing. It's still super close between these two. They've stretched away from Paul Heo in 4th place. But wide goes Deegan Fairclough, and that gives Mikey Doble the opportunity to pounce. He looks all ways. He's not able to get by just yet. Let's get a different camera angle to see them go around the island bend here. Mikey Doble's not able to make a move just yet. But one little mistake from Deegan is all it's going to take for Mikey Doble to pounce. And all of that is going to lose them the gap from Vicente Salas. The gap is 2 seconds now. Rob Variable has jumped to the pits. Something's happened to him. We'll get a quick replay of that now. Oh, he's spun coming out of Druid. And it's hit the wall, so you have to revert to the pits to get a little bit of damage checked. And something's happened. Something's happened to Paul Heo. Going through the chicane here. Oh, and the car's kicked up in the air by the curb. And he's taking a spin. And he'll lose all them positions. Down to 8th place he goes. And literally there's no contact in that with anyone else. It's just lost itself. Hit the curb a little bit too hard and the car went beyond his control. Real unlucky for Paul Hale there, and he loses contention in the battle. That promotes William Fall up a place, and William Fall is in fact past Lee Horn while we were looking away then. So this is the start of it, coming out of the international hairpin, going into the chicane of Britons. This is very brave from William Fall. Keeps it side by side. Both give each other racing room, and William Fall finds it through, and that was when Paul Hale spun, as we saw there. William Fall takes 4th place. Took 5th place from Lee Horn and then 4th place. And Lee Horn, you can see there, pushing real hard to try and get back up with William Foyle. And he's got a little bit of pressure from Blaze Crawford in the white number 4 livery behind him. Still nothing between Mikey Doble and Deegan Fairclough at the moment. But Foyle will be pleased. 3 places gained. He's ahead of his championship rival. Lee Horn will have bit of thunder in his head. He'll want that position back, but the other hand, there's the composed side of Lee Horn, who will just sort of deal with this result, and in the next race will try and better William Fall in that one. That's how Lee Horn has come to win many race room touring car championships in the past. One of them he beat me, so I definitely know what he's capable of. Let's see what else is going on track. Ollie Peters had a difficult start to this race, the first corner, and he hasn't quite reeled in Blaze Crawford just yet, but he's not too far away. If they start battling, he'll catch up. Paul Hale is on the catch-up now. He lost out coming out of the Britain chicane. Matt Emmons in 9th at the moment, 2 places gained for him. He'll be pleased with his progress at the moment in the very, very beautiful next-gen livery there. Still real close between these two. They're 2.7 seconds down from Vicente Salas. We haven't mentioned much about him, but it's just one of those drives we see from a few drivers every now and again this season. But Salas is just having a breeze here at Oulton Park with 5.5 minutes to go in this session. The old hall. When you've got 2 drivers like this at the top of their game, there is nothing to give. There's not much to gain on the other driver, just the odd mistake. That's all you can do, is apply pressure to try and get the upper hand. And you're seeing it from Lee Horn and Blaze Crawford here. Crawford moves on Lee Horn, and in fact, Lee Horn defending that position. He's dropped a little bit of time from William Foyle there. That's not what he wants. Oh God, these cars look great going through that banked hairpin, the international hairpin there. Such a great corner, and I just think this track is not used enough in many series, to be honest. It's one I haven't driven for a very, very long time. Would you like to see this back in the British touring cars? Let us know in the comments, but we're gonna revert to Dean Fairclough and Mikey Doble, as I thought they were side by side there. But yeah, answer us in the comments. Would you love to see this layout of Oulton Park return to the British Championship, British Touring Car Championship? I definitely would. 4 minutes to go in this race, which means we've got around about 2 or 3 laps to go. Let's have a look behind from William Foyle. Lee Horn. What you can see in these cars is all these drivers try different lines through these corners. Because these are less powerful cars and smaller cars, you can move them around the track a little bit more. You can try different things with them. But because you're not scrubbing off that much speed at all, there's really not that much to do different in these cars. That's why it's so difficult to balance, and that's why we do see some very exciting action, because no one wants to give any quarter to anyone. As we see Lee Horn with a very good corner there through the cascades. He gained rapidly on William Four going through there. And in fact, he's all over the rear of him right now as we approach the island bend here. Boyle almost defending a little bit on the inside there. Around the banked corner, letting the banking take you around the corner, and a little bit out of shape there coming out of the corner. Good reactions from Lee Horn to save it. The Britons. Oh, Lee Horn going a little bit wide there, gets it out of shape and is able to keep it going. But Blaze Crawford is able to pounce on Brit. Down over the hilltop, we're going into Hislops. The inside is covered by Crawford, and he'll take the corner, but Lee Horn has gone out of shape. He touched the grass a little bit there, has to go across the chicane, and he'll lose a lot of time, not only to William Ford but to Blaze Crawford. And down into 6th place he goes. Let's get a quick little replay of that. I don't think there was contact between the two. In fact, we'll take a different camera angle there, just because it looked very close between the two drivers. No, there wasn't contact, but I think Crawford startled Lee Horn a little bit. And there has been a move. 4P6, Ollie Peters has passed Lee Horn, and Lee Horn might have been serving a slowdown penalty there. Ollie Peters passes back through into 6th place. Was looking like a pretty promising result, but Lee Horn drops a few positions here. Deegan Fairclough still hanging on just ahead of Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble's trying everything, and look how wide Deegan Fairclough goes there coming out of the Cascades. Into the island bend. What can Mikey Doble do? He's trying everything. You just see he's trying every possible line, trying to catch up with Deegan Fairclough, but they're so consistent at the top of their game as well that it's so difficult to get the edge on one another. Oh, a little bit of a nudge I think there from Mikey Doble. It looked very close between the two, but Mikey Doble now finds himself on the undercut, and underneath Deegan Fairclough will go into the chicane now. Doble is later on the brakes and trying an undercut now is Deegan Fairclough. Brilliant stuff there from him, and he's able to get back alongside, and this will happen the inside for the next chicane, which is Hislops. On the inside, they're very close together. Latest of the breakers, can Mikey Doble hang on to it? No, he's going to try and undercut. Deegan is back into 2nd place. Brilliant battling from them too. And before we switch back, let's just get a quick little replay of this. Oh, I think there was a little bit of contact there. It looked it from this angle anyway. But it's still great racing between these two, getting the edge on one another. And we will have to revert, as the checker flag will be awaiting our leader-elect, which is this man. Vicente Salas returns after attending Zandvoort, but hasn't had a race since. He takes the checkered flag, and Mikey Doble has found his way past Deegan Fairclough to take 2nd place here. Deegan takes 3rd place and still a podium, and 1st in his category, the Pro-Am category. Let's get a quick replay of that final move. On the outside. Oh, might be one they're discussing on Discord a little bit later. Let's just get another replay of that. That's not much of a better angle. Let's get a different angle of that one. The move for 2nd place. Was a little bit of contact between the two there. One for the stewards maybe. But for the time being, Mikey Doble takes 2nd place, and will undoubtedly at this point without drop rounds considered, take the lead in the championship after this race. Well, we saw some very, very good battling between William Fall and Lee Horn there. Mikey Doble and Deegan Fairclough, brilliant battling from them. And that concludes our first race of the night. So here are your classified results of the first race of the night. Vicente Salas takes the win in the number 17 car from Mikey Doble. Deegan Fairclough takes third from William Fall in fourth position, who gained 3 places to get there, as did Blaze Crawford to finish himself in 5th place. Ollie Peters in 6th, with Lee Horn getting the slowdown penalty and going off track, 7th for him. Paul Heo in 8th place, with Matt Emmons in 9th, Max Brady in 10th, Josh Brown in 11th, 12th to Robert Bearable, and Sean Brown in 13th place. We are going to go for a quick break now, but when we come back, it will be race 2 of the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends here at Oulton Park for round 7. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
candle keeps burning. We're inviting the night in. Welcome, heart so full, I'm devoting myself to the night. There's no motive, we're just listening, we're existing.
Welcome back everyone to the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends here at Oulton Park International Circuit in Cheshire, England. Round 7 of the championship is underway and we have the second race of the night coming up for you very shortly. So a little bit of what happened in the previous race. It was Vicente Salas who took the opening win of the night, and he took it by quite a few seconds ahead of Mikey Doble, who made a final corner move for the lead on Deegan Fairclough to make it second and third for them. William Ford with fourth and Blaze Crawford in fifth position. This is the 7th round of the season, the start of the second half of the season. We started off all them weeks ago at Silverstone National Circuit, and then the following week we were at the Red Bull Ring National Circuit. Snetterton 300 layout hosted round 3, with Zandvoort National Circuit hosting round 4. A week off between rounds 4 and 5, and we returned to Japan for the Tsukuba Circuit. Round 6 last week was hosted at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, aka Montreal. Round 7 today here at Oulton Park. What's Ollie Peters doing? With round 8 hosted at the Nürburgring Sprint Strecker layout, which is a shorter version of the GP layout. Round 9 at the Donington Park National Circuit. Round 10 will be at the WeatherTech Raceway, aka Laguna Seca. Round 11 at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. And then round 12, the finale on the 1st of November, will be hosted at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. You can still get involved in this series if you wish to. All you need is an iRacing subscription. You need the car, the Legends car. You need the tracks for the following weeks onward. And of course, you need a wheel set and pedals. Get in touch with Next Gen Racing, as it's spelled in the top left there. Search it on Facebook, and you'll find their Facebook page and their Facebook group. Contact either of them and we can get you involved in the Legends series. There are also many other Next Gen Racing series and leagues available, including these Monday night Legends, and also on iRacing is the Wednesday night GT3 League, hosted by Matt Emmons. Tuesday nights is Assetto Corsa Competizione, broadcasted live onto this Next Gen Racing Facebook channel. Wednesday nights are the GT3s, which are also broadcast to the Next Gen Racing Facebook channel. And there's also on Thursday nights the Race Room World Touring Car Challenge in alliance with Crest Autosport. Thursday nights on Next Gen Racing on Facebook. So we've got a few minutes to go before we descend into the second race of the night. And it is a reverse grid of 11. Usually it's 12 for race 1, but because the person who finished in 12th, which was Rob Bearable, did not finish the race, they are not eligible for reverse grid. So it goes down until it is all the finishers, which is 11 drivers. Drivers getting a little bit more practice in, adapting to what might be new conditions on the circuit. So if we look there, we have 19 degrees air temperature and 37 degrees Celsius track temperature. Quite hot track temperature in comparison to the air temperature, but that's not extraordinarily hot track temperatures, so the grip will be relatively good for these drivers. Is when it gets hotter, it gets a little bit more understeer underneath the car. And humidity at 55%, which makes this very optimal conditions for driving, on iRacing anyway. And here at the Oulton Park International Circuit, this is what the track looks like. And we know it so well with the British GT Championship, if you do watch the British GT Championship, that is. The TOCA Series does come here, but it doesn't use this layout. It uses the shorter island layout, so the chicane we're about to go through with Matt Emmons, well, until we cut to William Fall, we don't go through that section of Oulton Park. It goes into the island hairpin, which presents many, many incidents in the British Touring Car Championship, being a tight, long braking zone and a very narrow hairpin. Sees plenty of action. It's actually the layout we raced last season in these Legends, but the longer layout here today. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a layout I don't think we see often enough in real life series and on iRacing. It's definitely one I'd like to see return to the British Touring Cars Championship one day. Drivers getting a little bit of practice, as we mentioned. Lee Horn topping the standings in this pre-race warm-up. And we are switching between these two drivers, William Fall and Lee Horn, as they're in a very, very intense battle for the Pro-Am Championship. And William Fall being the better of the two in the first race of the night, which means he'll close in a fair few points in the championship. I'm just going to take a look, see if they actually have refreshed the championship standings. Let's take a quick look. Oops. In fact, yes, it has. So Lee Horn is still 4th overall in the championship, and still leading the Pro-Am category, but only by 4 points ahead of William Fall. So it is well and truly on between them two drivers. Mikey Foot-Doble does take the lead in the championship now. But with drop rounds to consider, he will still be in an intense battle with Gordon Much and Luke Bennett. And just a few seconds, we'll be on our way to race 3 of the night. So here we go, we're about to grid up for the Next Gen iRacing Legends, race 2 for round 7 here. This will be the grid for the second race of the night. Josh Brown on pole position with Max Brady in 2nd, Matt Emmons in 3rd, Paul Hale in 4th position. Lee Horn will line up 5th with Ollie Peters in 6th, Blaze Crawford in 7th with William Fall in 8th, Deegan Fairclough in 9th, 10th is Mikey Doble and Vicente Salas in 11th. We're about to go underway for these Legends for the second time of the night. Josh Brown, as we mentioned, on the front row with Brady alongside. Who will we see win this race? We saw Vicente take his debut win of the season. Will we see another debut win? We've had a fair few different winners this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different, 8 different winners this season. But I'm interrupted now as the lights will start to go red. Ready for the second race of the night. At the back of the grid is Vicente Salas, the race 1 winner. But we're underway here at Oulton Park, and it's a very good start for Max Brady. He's already alongside Josh Brown as we go into the Old Hall corner, and into the lead straight away goes Max Brady. Oh, and he goes a little bit wide there, and all over the rear is Josh Brown. Josh Brown is Paul Hale, and all 11 cars get through the Old Hall safely. Oh, and there's a car who's gone a little bit out of shape. There's Blaze Crawford, and he spins into Ollie Peters. Peters spins off into the wall, and he's even gone over the fence. Thankfully, there's no marshals around the track, no spectators around the track, and that is Ollie Peters potentially out of this race. We'll come back for a replay of that incident, but between second and third, that's Paul Hale alongside Josh Brown, who's gone wide, and he'll spin across the track, and William Ford just about avoids it. He just about makes it through, and Josh Brown might be out of this race already. No, he's keeping going. Not enough damage on that car just yet, but what a dramatic start to this race at the moment. Vicente Salas, something's happened to him as well. He's out of the race. Max Brady at the front here leads the way. Paul Hale is in second place. Lee Horn with a brilliant start. He's third place. Deegan Fairclough is up 5 places to fourth. Brilliant start for him. There's a lot of incidents so far in this race. And Deegan Fairclough making his way past Lee Horn. Into the top 3 goes Deegan. This is what we saw from him so well last week at Montreal as well. He's able to get through the crowd very, very, very well and very fast indeed. 6 places gained on this opening lap. Paul Hale trying to reel in Max Brady here. Now, Paul Hale qualified second earlier on, which means he's got the pace, so he might be able to challenge Diego. And Max Brady spins it. He's just about hit the tyres there. He's able to just about keep it going. And Lee Horn nearly went into the back of him there. Lee Horn had to evade. Stays where he is at the moment, but that was a little bit of a very nervous moment there for Lee Horn and Max Brady. But into the lead at the end of the first lap, a very busy first lap, is Paul Hale. Second place is Deegan Fairclough with 7 places gained on that opening lap. Mikey Doble has gained 5 places on that opening lap. Now let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there on that opening lap. The scroll bar isn't working on my thing here, so I'm not able to go back and have a look at some of the incidents, particularly the Ollie Peters incident. He's out of this race, unfortunately, but let's keep an eye on the action at the moment. It's very close in this battle for third place here. Deegan Fairclough is catching on Paul Hale, which we'll come to very shortly. This is Lee Horn trying to make his way into third place past Max Brady. He has got William Fall and Mikey Doble behind to worry about as well. And I am now getting a scroll bar, so we can go and look at the Ollie Peters incident. But this is a battle potentially brewing here, and we'll switch to the front 2 as well, as Paul Hale and Deegan Fairclough alongside each other. Lee Horn is also alongside Max Brady. Is he able to get by just yet? And Mikey Doble's trying the undercut. Might he be able to make it a 3 wide? No, he decides not to. He decides to push along Max Brady, and William Fall is now challenging for that 5th spot on Mikey Doble. What about these two here? They're still nose to tail, or back nose to tail. Mikey Doble's trying the inside of Max Brady, but Lee Horn has taken that position now. William Fall hovering around the back of these 4 at the moment. Deegan Fairclough's looking to the inside of Paul Hale, up in first and second though. Better line to have going into this corner, and he'll take the lead here. Back with these 2. These 4, sorry. Mikey Doble has got his way past Max Brady. William Fall with a very good run, and it's a 3 wide coming out of the final corner. Now it isn't, as William Fall tucks back in behind. Mikey Doble has the inside of Lee Horn going into the Old Hall corner. And William Foyle is keeping that inside, following Mikey Doble through, but he wasn't able to use all the track. Didn't get the best of acceleration out of the corner, which means he has to tuck in back behind Lee Horn. Lee Horn with a little bit of damage on that front bumper there. He's hit someone somewhere. A little bit of damage. It won't be affecting his handling too much, but he's had something somewhere. So Paul Hale drops out of the top spot. Deegan Fairclough takes it with 8 places gained in this race. And Mikey Doble here. Mikey will know that these aren't his championship challenges. He knows all he has to do is keep it clean to gain the points. Max Brady fighting back on William Foyle, and there's contact between the 2. And into the wall goes William Foyle. That was a very, very, very strange incident indeed between the 2 there. William Foyle went wide at the hairpin. It just seems that William Foyle didn't have enough room to come back on the track. He was on the curb, and Max Brady was just staying alongside him, and there's nowhere for William Foyle to go. He's able to keep it going, but with a lot of damage, and his race progress definitely damaged as well. Paul Hale has moved his way back into the lead. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Deegan Fairclough there. He's gone off track somewhere. Oh, hit the curb very hard there. Oh, and it's similar to what Paul Hale did in the first race, except Fairclough just went straight on off the track. So, back into the lead goes Paul Hale. And Verklo has to do it all again. But we're only 5.5 minutes into this race. Still plenty more action to keep an eye on. So don't take your eyes off, ladies and gentlemen. Mikey Doble and Lee Horn still fairly close together, but they'll want to get their heads down and try and catch up with the two ahead. If they start battling again, they will catch. Heo leads another lap here at Oulton Park. The lead handed back to him. Coming out of the Cascades. Verklo taking a little bit of more of the outside of the track to get a little bit of a wider berth on that car. Carry more speed through the corner. And Heo having a little bit of a connection issue there where his car disappears and comes back. It's a bit of an iRacing thing. Where the connection, the driver's internet is not quite 100%, but he is being back to the action. On the other hand, he is being reeled in by Deegan Verklo again through Knickerbrook. And up the hill over and past the water tower now. Heo has to try again to defend his position. We're nearing the halfway point in the race. Deegan real quick. Really hitting his marks in this series. And it's a very good run coming out of the final corner for Deegan Verklo. He'll have the inside for the Old Hall corner, and it's the fastest lap of the race in doing so, and he'll take the lead back in this race. Paul Hale though hits the inside curb a bit too much and it spins him round and sends him back to 4th place. Just get a little replay of that. He tries an undercut, tries to take too much of the curb, and it just sends that Legend Coupe car around in a 360. You get a lot of points for that in a show-off event, but not in these Legends cars, these Legend races. Down to 4th place he goes. What was looking like a decent result for Paul Hale, slightly dampened, and now it's split up between this lot at the top here. So it's all down to mistakes from here on and pure pace alone. 2 seconds behind the leader is Mikey Doble. Oh, something's happened to Deegan here. He's disappeared off our screens. Something has happened to Deegan Verklo. He's dropping down the standings and he's disappeared from our screens, as we mentioned. That might be a disconnection for the driver who took 2 wins last week. That is, I believe, a disconnection. He's not coming back, and that will hand the lead to Mikey Doble. We were talking about internet issues just a moment ago, and it seems that has bit Deegan Verklo on the behind, and that will be a retirement for him. Such a shame. I mean, the internet disconnection is the sim racing equivalent of an engine blowing up in real life. It is just cruel and sometimes beyond control. The show does go on, however, despite Deegan being out of this race now. Mikey Doble leads the way from Lee Horn, who is just shy of 2 seconds down. Paul Hale in 3rd place. Max Brady in 4th with Blaze Crawford in 5th. Blaze Crawford, who's involved in that incident with Ollie Peters at the beginning of the race at the Cascades. I'll tell you what, we can go back to it now. Let's take a quick look at what actually happened on that opening lap. So this is Blaze Crawford going through the Old Hall corner. It's a little bit wide there. Not quite out of shape yet, but it's when they come through this corner. He takes a little bit of the grass there, gets it out of shape, the back end steps out, and he collects Ollie Peters, and also collected was William Foyle, and I think it was Vicente Salas. So if we go back a little bit, no, not that far back. This is Vicente. He was collected by both William Full and Crawford, trying to avoid the incident, and sent off into the grass, and I think he retired from the race. But yeah, very, very dramatic start to this race. It's one of those things in these cars that if you get it on the grass, that's it. You're basically a passenger. They're so difficult to control the rear ends of these cars, even in good conditions. And when you get a little bit of the grass, it makes it even trickier. And I've just noticed something, that Lee Horn is lapping quicker than Mikey Doble. 4/10 quicker on that previous lap, which means he's gained a little bit on Mikey Doble on that lap, within a second and a half now. Might Lee Horn be able to reel in Mikey Doble and start battling by the end of this race? Lee Horn has never been a race winner in the Legends, but having said that, Mikey Doble has never won this season yet. He won many races last season, did Mikey Doble. I think it was a tally of something like 9 races that Mikey Doble ended up winning last season. This would be a first for either of them. Mikey Doble breaks that duck at the end of this race if he can keep it going. Now, granted, there was a little bit of luck involved with Deegan Fairclough disconnecting, but who's to say that Mikey Doble wouldn't have caught and passed him? These things you just don't know, so you can't take anything away from Mikey Doble here. And he has come up through the grid, 9 places gained to get to this top spot, and it's what he did so well last season. He just kept his nose out of trouble. That's how he was able to get to the top of the table, and that's what he's doing again at this part of the season. He hasn't needed race wins, and neither did Andy Prio in the World Touring Cars in the first year of the revived World Touring Cars. Andy Prio won 1 race, but won the championship. Points, 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 as he said infamously. So this will be the penultimate lap, and when he crosses the line, he'll start his final lap of this race here at Oulton Park. The white flag is waving. 1 more lap to go before it will be Mikey Doble's opening win of the season, if he can keep it going. Much quicker than Lee Horn on that last lap, a second, 0.2 quicker than Lee Horn. And any theories, myself included, thinking that Lee Horn might be able to try and catch up with Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble has just put them thoughts out with a blistering time to stretch a commanded 2.8 second lead. What has been a very, very action-packed race, instant-packed race, including the first lap. Disconnections, contact, crashes, all sorts. Big overtakes as well. This could be quite a notable race in the season for the championship for a lot of these drivers. In particular, Mikey Doble, Deegan Fairclough might come back to haunt. This race might come back to haunt him later on in the season if he keeps putting in performances like he has done of late. Might it disrupt a certain position in the championship? First, second, third, any of them. And the same goes with William Full, down in 6th place at the moment. The incident involving him and Max Brady. But Mikey Doble, the time will expire and the checkered flag will be waiting for him. The Ginetta GT5 driver hasn't had a race win yet this season, and yet he leads the championship. But he finally breaks the duck. He's a race winner yet again. And he takes to the inside of the track to take the checkered flag. Mikey Doble is a race winner again. Lee Horn takes 2nd place in what's been A big drive from him to help his championship status in 4th overall and 1st of the Pro-Am category. Paul Heo with a top 3. He'll be very pleased with that. 3rd for him. Max Brady in 4th place with Blaze Crawford in 5th. Oh dear. William Foyle in 6th position. I've really got to ask these guys to stop doing that at the end of the race. William Foyle in 6th. Matt Emmons in 7th position. Will come through eventually. But your race winner was Mikey Doble. Interesting race indeed, and we saw the disconnection of Deegan Furklow, which presented the win on a plate to Mikey Doble, but he won't care. He'll take that. It's championship points, and it's a win under his belt. And we're just waiting for a few drivers to finish this race, and then we'll move on to the results. Ollie Peters will be the last to finish this race in 8th place. The instant at the start of the race, and he was able to keep it going somehow. He might have towed it back to the pits, but he was on the other side of the fence, so quite surprising how he's managed to keep it going with not much damage by the looks of it on that car, so that's rather surprising at the same time. Ollie Peters will come through for an 8th place. Been a bit of a difficult night for Ollie Peters, but hopefully race 3 will be better for him. And these will be the results of race 2 provisionally, but it is Mikey Doble who takes his first win of the season. Lee Horn in 2nd place with Paul Heo in 3rd, Max Brady 4th with Blaze Crawford in 5th, William Ford takes 6th with Matt Emmons in 7th, Ollie Peters 8th, Josh Brown 9th, Deegan Furklow 10th, and Vicente Salas in 11th. We're going to go away for a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be the final race of the night, race 3, on Next Gen Racing Facebook Live and Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and Twitch. Don't go away, we'll be back very soon with more Legends action. Welcome back everyone to the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends, round 7 here at Oulton Park in Cheshire, England. This is the final race of the night, coming up very shortly. It's been a very interesting night indeed. Not the biggest grid we've had all season, but the racing is still exciting and the drama is all the same. Now, we started off all them weeks ago at Silverstone, then it was Red Bull Ring, Snetterton was round 3, Zandvoort was round 4, Tsukuba 2 weeks ago in Japan, and last week was in Canada at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal. This week here at Oulton Park, but 1 week today, we'll be off to Germany and the Nürburgring Sprint Strecke layout. Then it'll be a week off between rounds 8 and 9. We'll be back for round 9 at the Donington Park National Circuit. Round 10 will be featured at the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, and round 11 will be at the Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona. Round 12, the final round on the 1st of November, will be the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. That's what we got coming up this season, the remainder of this second half of the season. If you want to get involved in this series, you still can. All you have to do is contact Next Gen Racing via their Facebook page or their Facebook group. Next Gen, as it's spelled in the top left there, NXTGEN. Find the Facebook group or the Facebook page, contact them, and they will get you involved in this series. If you don't want to get involved in this series, a bit like what Ollie Peters probably thinking right then, if you still want to get involved in this series, you still can, but there's also other series on offer. On iRacing on Wednesday nights, there is the GT3 Championship broadcast to the Next Gen Racing Facebook channel, just like this stream is. But also Tuesday nights there is an Assetto Corsa Competizione League, and on Thursday nights there is the Race Room World Touring Car Challenge races. Plenty to get involved in with Next Gen Racing. So we've had 2 different winners. It was Vicente Salas who took the win in race 1, and Mikey Doble took his first win of the season in race 2. Will we get another different winner in race 3? We'll find out in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. But in the championship, we're not able to get the graphic on display for you right now, but Mikey Doble leads the championship by a convincing amount now, with Gordon Much and Luke Bennett not attending tonight's race, but with dropped rounds to play for. It could change things around once they're implemented. But Mikey Doble leads the championship, Gordon Much in second. Lee Horn now takes third in the championship, with Luke Bennett in fourth position. William Paul in 5th place, Wayne Douglas in 6th, Paul Hale in 7th, Blaise Crawford in 8th, Jamie Dory 9th, and Deegan Ferglow in 10th. While we're waiting for race 3, just enjoy a few pictures here of the cars heading around the track, and we'll be back with you with the race very shortly. We are about to get underway for the third race of the night. So welcome along to Next Gen Racing iRacing Leagues. This is the Legends for round 7 at Oulton Park. Welcome along whether you're watching on Crest Autosport TV on YouTube or Twitch. And welcome along on Next Gen Racing on Facebook. Do give whatever page or whatever platform you are watching on a like, follow and or subscribe. And do keep tuning in every Monday for these Legends races. This will be the grid for the third race of the night. Josh Brown will line it up on the pole position with Ollie Peters in second. Matt Emmons in third position with William Fall in fourth. Blaze Crawford is fifth with Max Brady in sixth. Paul Hale will line up in seventh with Lee Horn alongside in eighth. Mikey Doe will line up ninth, being the race winner of race 2, and Deegan Furclow rejoins this race after the disconnection he had earlier, but it is 10th on the grid for him. Who will be the winner of this race? One of them 10 drivers will come away with the win at the end of the night here. And we are about to get underway for the next race of the night. Josh Brown is on the front row alongside Ollie Peters. Brown is on the right, Peters on the left, and away we go. Good start for everyone by the looks of it. It's a very, very fast car in the background there. I think it's Furclow already past Horn at the back there. But 3 wide going into the first corner between Peters, William Foyle as well. And Foyle screaming it around the outside. He might have made a move on Josh Brown as well as we come down towards the Cascades here. Into the Cascades we go. Josh Brown retains the lead ahead of William Foyle here. Oh, as Josh Brown goes off, straight off the track. And back on the track, I'm not sure what happened there, but William Foyle takes the lead in the race ahead of his teammate, Ollie Peters. Good start for Crest Autosport here. And on the inside back here, we got Matt Emmons on the inside, and off there goes Paul Hale. He went too fast around that corner, and he sent it off into the kitty litter. He's able to keep it going, but just about in. He has a lot of ground to make up. The trio here, Foyle leading Peters from Crawford. Crawford, who does have a win to his name. He won back at Tsukuba, and he's got Deegan Furk alongside. Deegan is so good at getting through the crowds in these reverse grid races. He's already up to third here, and we got Mikey Doble on the inside of Max Brady. Through he goes into 5th place for him. But Deegan Furklow's already trying to pounce on Ollie Peters. Peters is probably going to play the team game here, try and hold up Deegan Furclow and try and hold him up so William Foyle can scream off into the distance, but it looks like Deegan is going to go for it right away. Might he be able to get up the inside? Yes, he does. Deegan has the inside going around Druid's corner and up towards Lodge corner we go. Deegan will have the inside for this corner and may take second place. He has got Crawford right behind him there, and a little bit of a nudge up the rear, and that sends him off, and Ollie Peters couldn't help but hit him. Off into the gravel he goes. A little bit of help from Crawford there. Well, let's take another look at that. Crawford there with late braking a little bit later, and it sends him off. Ollie Peters helped, but I don't think it was Ollie Peters' fault there. Oh, and all these drivers running off wide, coming out of the old hall there. William Foyle out on his own at the moment, followed by Blaze Crawford. Mikey Doble is ahead of him, who's been his rival for the last few races. Deegan Furclow down in 8th position. But might he be able to catch up? We'll find out. Ollie Peters running a little bit wide there, coming out of Cascades, losing all manner of control there, and past goes Matt Emmons and Lee Horn. Matt Emmons runs wide though. He has to keep hold of that car, keep it away from the tyres. He just about does so, but he'll drop down a few positions to 9th position. And he had the opportunity to take 7th place there, did Matt Emmons, and it didn't quite work out, unfortunately. He's getting going again, a bit of gravel still peeling off the car there. But his race is still going, fortunately for him. Foyle leads from Crawford, who's got company from Mikey Doble here. Mikey doesn't go for the move. Mikey is very conservative in these moments in the race. He does take his time picking his moves here and there, taking his time getting through the crowd. He is more focused on finishing the races and picking up points. Elsewhere we have got... We're looking at Brady and Lee Horn. Lee Horn's having a very, very good night indeed. He picked up a podium in the last race. Might be trying his hands on 4th position here. He looks always to get by Max Brady. Oh, and in fact, he might have just got a good run coming out of Lodge Corner. Yes, he does. He gets alongside. And Mikey Doble might be trying to move on Blaze Crawford as well. Look at this. He outbrakes Crawford. And through he goes into 2nd place. And Lee Horn wasn't able to do the same. Brady goes wide. And he covers off Lee Horn. But Doble gains 1 position. Horn doesn't. Now Mikey Doble can set his sights on William Fall, 1.2 seconds up the road, and try and get himself a 2nd win of the night. He broke the duck in the last race by getting his 1st win of the season. He could make it 2 here tonight. Lee Horn trying the inside of Max Brady. Brady shuts the door and Horn has to back out of it. Try again on another corner, but Deegan Fairclough is on the comeback already, up to 6th place, just ahead of Ollie Peters there, and he's got Lee Horn and Max Brady right ahead of him, and he's not too far away from Mikey Doble. Deegan is not out of contention for the win just yet, despite the drama on the opening lap of the race for him. And Lee Horn, as something has happened to him there, he runs off wide, and he loses more positions. He's down to 7th place. Let's get a replay of that. It wasn't off track. Into the chicane there. Oh, and he just gets it out of the shape, hitting the curb a little bit too hard. He stamps on the brakes, trying to keep the car in a straight line, almost like a tram line, where he keeps locks the car on the brakes so it just skids forward and doesn't switch directions on him. And down to 7th place goes Lee Horn, and he's now battling with Ollie Peters. Boyle still leads from Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble, the only pro driver in this server right now. The drivers with blue plated numbers on the timing tower are Pro-Am drivers, and black number plates are pro category drivers. And our pro category driver Mikey Doble has just set the fastest lap of the race of 1:52.9. which was on the last lap 6/10 quicker than William Foyle. He's now within a second of him, 7/10 of a second behind William Foyle. The battle will start between these two. They've had many battles together. Some have come to blows, some have been brilliant battles. What will it be today? We'll find out. Ollie Peters in 6th place. Spoke to him on Discord just a moment ago. He's just unhappy that he hasn't had much luck this season. He's quite right. He started off the season with his, I think it was his left leg in a cast, so braking was very, very difficult for him. I think that's Deegan Fairclough. Fairclough has spun, and he drops a few positions, hits the curb. Oh, and it just turns round on him, and like Lee Horn, he had to stamp on the brakes to keep the car in a straight line, and he drops a few positions to 8th place. So again, Fairclough has dropped out and has to catch back up again. And that gives Doble the opportunity to go for the win here without the fear of Fairclough catching him, but he has got to get by William Foyle, who this season has gone up another level. He improved a huge amount throughout last season, and this season he's gone up another level yet again in these cars. He's controlling the lead of this race at the moment. Half the race expired at the moment, and it will be another lap led for William Foyle, but half a second lost yet again to Mikey Doble. You can safely say that Mikey Doble has caught him with a very good exit here coming out of the old hall. He's looking around, trying to spook William Foyle into defending. William Foyle sticks to his line. Mikey Doble doesn't go for a move just yet. He's going to use the exits of these corners to get a better acceleration than William Foyle ahead. This is on board with Mikey Doble. The pink lovely stickers liveried car ahead of William Foyle. And the replica of the Janetta livery here from Mikey Doble, right on the rear of William Foyle. Crawford and Brady back in 3rd and 4th, having a battle amongst themselves. These two are off into the distance. William Fall will be extremely determined to get a victory here. It'll be his first ever in the Next Gen Legends series. The first time he'll win in a Next Gen race since the WTCR season 19, I think. I don't know what race it would have been, but I think that's the last time I remember seeing him win a Next Gen race, which was quite some time ago. Doble has not found his way past. He's been right behind Foyle for the best part of a lap now. Round Druid's corner, he's lining up a slingshot move to try and get a good exit from these corners so he can overtake before the braking zone, but he's not able to get by yet. William Foyle is putting his car in the right places at the moment. 5.5 minutes to go. You can see Mikey Doble's trying different lines, trying to get the upper hand on William Foyle. This is the kind of thing that Mikey Doble does to everyone. We saw it in race 1 with Deegan Fairclough. Coming out of the old hall, that is where Mikey Doble is at his best. He looks to the right side, and I think William Foyle is letting him have it as Mikey Doble has got his nose in that gap. But it's the outside for the Cascades, not the best line to be on. Coming out of the corner, can Mikey Doble get a good run on William Foyle? He did, but he wasn't able to get it alongside just yet. He'll have to stay behind as we go into the island bend. This is a real tense battle between these two, pushing it to the limit at the moment. Foyle guards the inside going into the Shell Oil hairpin. The high banked right-hander out of the corner. No move yet from Doble, but you can just see he's so much quicker out of these corners. But William Foyle is putting his car in the right places to stop the move. And it was actually a good exit from that hairpin from William Foyle then. Let's take a look further back. We've got Crawford in third, who's opened up a little bit of a gap to Brady. Fifth is Peters, and he's leading from Lee Horn and Paul Heo. Deegan Fairclough down in 8th place at the moment. It's a bit of a disappointing end to what could have been a good night for Deegan Fairclough tonight. It could have been a race win in race 2, who knows? And in race 1, he had a battle with Mikey Doble, but dropped to 3rd on the final lap, with Doble getting the better of him. Doble at the moment is on for 2nd, 1st, and as it stands, 2nd place. Oh, as he takes a lunge for William Foyle going into the lodge corner, and there was a bit of contact, and he realised that, and he let William Foyle have it back, but William Foyle kept hold of it very, very well indeed. We're not able to get a replay of that, unfortunately. But that was very, very close for the two of them. 11.5 minutes expired. 3.5 to go. Answer to Jordan Snow. Is the Thompson family racing tonight? Unfortunately not. Bobby Thompson came back from Croft only today, I think. So he's not able to race today. But hopefully we'll see Aaron Thompson, Bobby Thompson, and the rest along next time at the Nürburgring, which is 1 week today. Hopefully we'll see him back, along with many other drivers, as Mikey Doble makes his move on William Foyle. And it looked like William Foyle just sort of let him have it. It might have been a slowdown penalty, but let's get a replay of that. And he brakes going into the corner. He might have just thought, you know what, William Foyle might have been thinking the bigger picture there. He might have been thinking about the Pro-Am Championship. Thinking, why should I battle Mikey Doble, who's leading the Pro Category Championship? William Foyle needs points to get back towards the top of the Pro-Am Category Championship. Lee Horn is his opposition in that battle, and he needs to be scoring more points than him. And it all has built up a little bit for these drivers. They're all getting very close together. 3rd there for Blaze Crawford. He's not too far behind William Foyle. Max Brady not too far behind either, and Ollie Peters is catching up on him, and he's followed by Lee Horn and Paul Heo. So in the final 2 minutes here, it'll be the final lap starting very, very soon. Could all erupt between these, but Mikey Doble will lead his first lap of the race here for what could be a very, very successful night, and in fact it could well be a near maximum point lap, a near maximum point. The white flag waves. Mikey Doble 1.2 seconds clear of William Foyle, who took the lead on the previous lap just then. And we have got Blaze Crawford defending from... sorry, this is Ollie Peters on the inside of Max Brady. Max Brady locks up and he goes very wide. He has to keep it out of the tyres. All cars go to avoid and just about avoids Paul Heo. But he loses a few positions from 4th to 7th place. Heo is trying the inside of Lee Horn here at the Cascades. Not able to make it. Lee Horn stays ahead for the time being. That was very, very close for Paul Heo. Watch here. That was extremely close, and that could have been tears and curtains for Paul Heo there, but Max Brady got away with that one, but loses to 7th place. It's very close between these drivers. Ollie Peters locking down that position of 4th place. Oh, and Lee Horn spins. Lee Horn has just spun it in the Britain's chicane. Again, he did it earlier on in the night. And he hits that inside curb very awkwardly. Not too much, but very awkwardly. And it just sends the rear end round. And once the rear end has lost itself, all you can do is just lock up the brakes. And there is something going on between William Full and Blaze Crawford as well. There's a little bit of contact between them. Going into the chicane. Oh, there it is. Oh, and William Full nearly loses it with Blaze Crawford trying to get by him. William Full hangs on to it though. That was a very close moment for the two drivers then. But it's been a near perfect night for this man. Kind of what he did last season. Reminiscent of what he did last season, in fact. Mikey Doble takes another win tonight. It's been 2nd, 1st and 1st for him tonight. A near perfect night. And this will kick-start his bid to defend his championship win from last season. Mikey Doble takes his 2nd win of the night. William Full fought valiantly, but 2nd place for him is a very good result, with Blaze Crawford on the podium yet again. Ollie Peters in 4th position, with Paul Heo, his teammate, behind in 5th. Max Brady loses out to 6th. Eventually, and as does Lee Horn. He loses to 7th with a spin on the final lap. Deegan Furclow, what are they doing? With a very, very unfortunate race there, is in 8th, with Matt Emmons 9th and Josh Brown in 10th position. My word. Welcome to the Next Gen Legends, everyone. That's what it looks like. Well, what an extraordinary race we saw indeed. A brilliant comeback from Mikey Doble there, gaining 8 places to get to that top spot. That is the Mikey Doble we saw from last season that we're now seeing this season. It kickstarts his bid to defend the championship. And he'll go into next week's round as a very commanding leader in the championship. We'll round up the results for you very, very shortly. In fact, we will do it right now. And these are the results of the final race of the night. Mikey Doble takes another win. 2 in a row. He breaks the duck after race 2. And he gets his 2nd here today in race 3. William Full in 2nd with Blaze Crawford 3rd. Ollie Peters in 4th. Paul Heo in 5th with Max Brady in 6th. Lee Horn 7th. Deegan Furclow in 8th. Matt Emmons 9th. And Josh Brown 10th. This has been the Next Gen iRacing Legends here at Oulton Park, round 7. My name's Alex Everett on behalf of Crest Autosport, presenting this race to you on Crest Autosport TV from YouTube and Twitch, and also Next Gen Racing live on Facebook. Give us a like, follow and subscribe if you are watching on any of the aforementioned channels, and catch us next week at the Nürburgring Sprint Strecker layout for round 8 of the championship. 1 week from today, we go live at 7:45 UK time. So tune in next week to catch more of the legends. I've been Alex Everett. This has been Next Gen Racing. Thank you for watching. Good night.